Hello again, and welcome back to the Unloved Garage channel. So, it is quite a nice evening for a change around here. So, because it rained earlier and because there's an event on the NY500 tonight, I decided we're going to go take a little drive out and film an event that's not mine for a change. Now, yesterday, if you saw the video from the Back in the Day show, which was our show, video for that is on the channel. I was thinking, I haven't seen it, go take a look. That was also at the NY500 cafe. So, as I said, we're going to take a night out. It's a nice night. It's 7 o'clock at the moment. And the sun's shining. Let's take a little drive and see what's out there. So first stop, as dictated by the fuel gauge, is fuel. That needs to get damn good dust on there. I just realised it. Let's get some fuel in her, then go for it. So to answer the question of should you buy one or are they even a good investment, the honest answer is I'm not quite sure. I bought this, longer time viewers of the channel will know that I bought this car, I don't know, 4 years ago. It was a rolling shell with no windows, well, a damaged windscreen, no interior, no engine, no gearbox in it, and everything that's on it I had to buy for it. And it's never ending. Even now there's still things that need to be done. It still doesn't have a stereo in it, but I don't mind that. I'm alright. There's plenty to listen to, because the reality is, with a car like this, the way that I've chosen to build it, that's another thing. The way that I've chosen to build this, I don't mind not having a stereo. No, it's not the most comfortable car, but again, it's the way that I've built it. These cars are made with like a really comfortable seat. And I've driven other cars which have got that seat in it. The yellow 33 that we're currently building in other videos, that's the same thing. But the ones that I put in this, the driver's seat's quite uncomfortable. But again, it's personal choice. The options that you get when you build or even buy a car like this, there is that much out there for it. You can have it any way that you want. Now, to start looking into questions like handling and performance and things like that, again, performance comes from whatever engine that you choose to buy. But the bottom line is, if you were to change the engine, let's say you start with a bare bones 2 litre non-turbo, and you wanted to build this car up exactly as I've done, you could take your time and build it, start at the bottom and build your way up. There is no significant difference in them. The only one that I believe is different is the subframes and things like that, but it all bolts to the car. The only thing that I believe is actually different is the GTR has a slightly different floor pan, and I have seen people adapt them. But ultimately, if you wanted to start with a 2 litre non-turbo and you wanted to build it up to a 2.6 flame spitting 700 horsepower, whatever, you could do that from the exact same chassis as a 2 litre non-turbo's got. And let's be honest, equally, there isn't too many of the standard cars left these days, because a lot of people, much like me, have built them into something else. So many have been cut with drift cars, so many have been just kept as normal road cars, but 99% of them are tweaked, tuned or modified in some sort of way. Now, if you look into the looks of things, these are quite a big car. They're a heavy car, they're a long car, they're not light by any means, but Nissan never built them to be. They built them to have the performance, which the GTR in its day was something like 280 brake horsepower or something like that. That was a lot back in the 90s. Nowadays, yes, there's factory cars that have got a lot more than that, but this is a 90s car. If you're even considering one, you're not thinking about anything modern tech or anything like that. But they are a fantastic, in my opinion, investment. I'll tell you why. A lot of cars, especially older cars, go down this sort of roller coaster in value. Now, they have a price when they're new, which generally lasts about 5 minutes from the moment you buy them, and then they go down this dip gradually over years. Now, what happened with these cars, the Skylines, is around COVID time, before COVID time, you could pick a running driving R33 2.5 turbo, which is known as a GTST, for about £5 or less. Since COVID time, we get what's called the Skyline tax on everything. It's not a physical tax, it's just everybody's decided that the cars are actually worth more. So what would have been, £5 before is now probably 15 plus for something that's anywhere near reasonable, and sometimes they go up from there, but you will, on the right day, land a cheaper one than that. Now, all of these cars are, even if you go litre non-turbo right up to the 2.6 GTR twin turbo. All of them have a straight 6 engine, and with the exception of the GTR, which is 4-wheel drive, they're all rear-wheel drive, so they are a great chassis ultimately to play with, which is why, as I mentioned before, a lot of people turn them into drift cars. But even to drive, it kind of works. I think Jeremy Clarkson once said that rear-wheel drive does the power, which is what the case is with these, and the front ones do the steering. And I remember a statement where he said that's a nice balance, and I'd agree, it is. I think as far as the question goes of are they a good investment, that's a difficult one to say. I think the ones to invest in, depending on how much money you want to spend, is probably the GTRs, simply because they will always be the top end of the Skylines market. But if you wanted to buy one for yourself to enjoy, buy any of them. Now, I'm sure it doesn't need to be said, the popularity of these things, probably due to films like The Fast and Furious, is very well known. Even most people who don't know what the car is are generally with someone who does. And in my experience, you get a lot of people shouting out as you drive past Skyline, things like that. And I love that, I really do. Because I was once that kid who used to stand there and watch them go past. And I thought there'll come a day, which is now, where I have my own. And if I'm honest, because of the way I built the car ultimately, and because of my expectations from it, and the way that I sort of let myself down with it, if I'm honest, I actually decided to sell the car a couple of years ago, and it lasted all of about 5 minutes. I was purely in a mood with myself, if I'm honest. But since then, I've never looked back. I took the car off of sale despite having some pretty good offers on it, and I've never really wanted to sell it since. It wouldn't be an interest to me even now. I'm lucky enough to say that I don't have to, but if I did, it'd be one of the last ones that I'd ever get rid of, because I'd miss it. That's the bottom line. I miss it. I miss the looks, I miss the noise, I miss the drive. Nights like tonight, I miss the drive. Now, the beauty of the culture on all these cars is you can make these things look however you want. Obviously, paint, you can paint any car, but there is immense amount of options on kits available for it. You can keep it standard, which is quite a very plain looking if it's non-GTR. You can go wild and out, you can buy various body kits for it. This one's on 19-inch wheels and it fits really, really well, but again, you could go 17s. There's plenty of options of how you want to do it. So if you're going to consider buying one and you want to change this, that and the other as you went along, as I said before, by all means do it. Start wherever you can start, which is exactly what I did, and get into the chassis. I don't think you would regret it. Now, if you were to try and compare these two modern cars, honestly they don't. The interiors are not a bad place to be, but they're not, I don't know what the word would be, they're not posh by any means. It's all quite basic, quite 90s. It's honestly what you would expect from this sort of era. They don't stack up against modern cars, but everything that you need is there. Now, my car's far from subtle. It's bright blue, silvery gold wheels on it, and a big body kit, and quite a loud exhaust, as you can probably hear. That being said, the whole time that I've been on this journey, there's been a lot of people behind the camera and around the car that are reacting to it, and even as I said that, the chap in the car has just gone past. A lot of people love to see them. Even if they were in standard form, we might not get the attention of some of the younger kids and stuff, but they are still a great thing to see out on the road. Now, if I was to compare this to, let's say, my Subaru, which is my 1999 Subaru Impreza Turbo 2 litre, they are probably very, very different, especially if I was to start throwing this thing around. As I said, these are quite big, quite heavy. The Subaru is quite a lot more nimble. But depending on how I feel, I'm lucky enough to decide which one of the two, which would be, as I say, totally different, of the two, which one would suit how I want to drive. Because frankly, if I wanted to go out and throw it around, I'd probably go in the Subaru. This has got the power, but it suits bigger roads, if that makes sense. It might just be, once again, because of how I built it, because it has got a bigger single turbo that spools up quite a bit later, but when it does come on, it comes on really, really strong. I know the factory ones have a low amount smaller turbo, but it it's a little bit more linear on power, but there's less of it. Let's get into the MY500, take a look around, see what else you can find, and let's see what anybody else thinks of it while we're here. Alright, so it's going to be a windy one, so I might not get a lot of conversation, but it's quite a busy night down here, or starting to be, let's say. Let me show you where the 30 is. How picturesque is that? R33 sat on the fence line, sunset in the background, that's pretty good. So I've said it in previous videos, if you haven't been to the MY500, you definitely need to come. It's 100% worth it. There's always something here. Now, there's a couple of clubs meeting up tonight, which is what the cars over my shoulder are about. I'll give you a little bit better look at them. So in a recent video I said that I was starting to like something a little bit different, I suppose, which was some Porsche. And I have got a little bit of tendency towards other things, and there's a couple of Aston Martins kicking around here as well tonight. But let's have a little look around and see what else I see, because it's quite a lot of interesting things to say. Alright, so by quite popular request, if you didn't manage to get your stickers at the show on Sunday, they have now been added to the website. These are both styles, both sizes, are available at unlovedltd.com. Get yours today. So I think that's where we're going to leave this video. I'm on my way back home, it's got really cold out there, so thank you very much for watching, make sure you are subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.